So as an architect, there are two major ways that we can help fight climate change. We can use our knowledge to build better buildings that perform better and use less energy. And we can also advocate for a better built environment, which includes a lot of other professions like planners and developers and homeowners. So when we design buildings, we're making hundreds of design choices as we go along. One example would be where to put the windows. And because in real life the sun follows a path through the sky during the day, windows will perform differently depending on which side of the building they're on. And if you put equal amounts of windows on all four sides of your building, then some of those windows will contribute to a poor performance of the building, like on the north side. Some of those windows may contribute to overheating of the building, such as on the west side. So placement of windows and how many windows you have is a super important aspect of building a building or designing a building, and doesn't cost anything other than the thoughtfulness of your designer. That design decision will influence the heating and cooling system for your building, because as your building heats up, the cooling system is going to kick in and use energy to compensate for the heat buildup that you've caused with your windows. So making that balance between how the building performs and how it's oriented makes a difference to the amount of energy that the building consumes. So that's just one example, and there's lots of examples similar to that as to how you can make the building perform better. You could also insulate the building better. Over the last 40 years here in Canada, we've been increasing the amount of insulation that we put on the outside of the buildings considerably. And we have better windows now. We used to have single pane, then we went to double pane. Now we're doing triple pane as best practices. And those decisions also help to make the building perform better. Whether you're using heating fuel sources such as oil or gas, or whether you're using passive sources of energy such as solar or geothermal, also makes a huge difference. So the energy source that you use for your building will also contribute to the global footprint of the building during its lifetime. So if you have the opportunity to use a passive source of energy, use it. If you have the opportunity to use a geothermal system instead of burning gas or oil, do it. But we can also help to improve the built environment by advocating. We can advocate for a more frugal use of natural resources. We can design a more balanced environment where nature plays a more influential role in how we use our land. And we can also use planning as a way to intensify our built-up areas so that we don't rely on the car as much, and so that the built environment itself becomes more sustainable.